How's everybody doing? What's up? It's Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Welcome. Check it out. We've moved in partially. Partially moved in. Still decorating. Uh the new side. Check it out. I got space to move around. Pretty excited. Pretty exciting stuff. Um yeah. Anyway, so um yeah. This is what we're doing. Um, just give me one sec here. I still haven't got my overhead stuff figured out. Let me just give me one sec, guys. Take that out. Sorry, one second. Just I I've got things working out here. Yeah, the cave is coming together. It's coming together. I'm still decorating, but I opted not to do any sanding on the walls, and you're probably thinking, why the heck would you do that? But if you've ever done any drywall sanding, it's really not fun. So I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna cover the walls with all kinds of stuff and just kind of leave it kind of crazy, in the background and leave it at that. But now I have more space. You should see the other side. It's completely emptied. Um, so yeah, I mean well the the other side is just empty now, which is crazy. If you can just guys give me one second. I'm just gonna go grab my other tripod so I can watch the chat at the same time. One sec. I'll be right back. But anyway, sorry, I was working on this SP1200 stuff before I started. That's why I'm kind of scrambling. Yeah, the grit, right? Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think it's gonna be good, as I kind of like get more stuff over here. I think it's gonna be better. Just leaving the raw walls, doesn't to me it just doesn't really make much sense to go all out. Um, sanding and painting, especially when I'm not finishing the ceiling. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, to me, it just doesn't make much sense. But yeah, anyway, so things are coming together. I'm really happy. The I was, I spent a lot of my time this week doing that and the SP1200, working on some SP1200 stuff. Hey, Abnorm, what's up, buddy? Glad you could come out. Hope things are going well. So, um, yeah, there was no video this week again. No long form video again this week. Because as I was saying, I need to get this side finished. So I still have to like mount my tripod and stuff over top so I can, you know, do stuff. Yeah, yeah. Hope you're doing well too, buddy. Um, but yeah, so things are going well. I'm getting a lot done. Very, very pleased. um, yeah, lo-fi basement. Exactly. No, I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out, I think you know, it's going to be a little bit more crazy in the background, with I'm going to, fill the stuff, fill the background with all kinds of stuff, you know, from, various portions of my life. And yeah, so this is going to be where I'm going to be doing all the building now. Um uh so it should be pretty good. Um yeah. So I'm gonna finish putting all the kind of, all the stuff on the walls, and then I'm gonna just do a final video of like here's the whole place. Hey Brian, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming out. So yeah, no video this week. I wanted to focus on just getting this side occupied, and then actually I'm not doing a beat making live stream this week due to the fact that I need I need some more time to set up over there because I've got it very cleared out over there. Um, yeah, and it's looking really good. It's very, very clear now. So it's cool because I have all my, got my amps, my guitar amps set up. So I got my half stack set up. I've got my Sun 200S head set up with a load box, which is really cool. I got my pedal board going. Got my guitars all set up over there. I've got the sampler. I've got like a table set up with like the sampler and stuff. Um, so yeah, it's great now because now I can just take my computer and just go over to the other side without having to tear everything down. So hopefully that means that I'll be able to, so now I'm going to have like a dedicated part of the room where, part of the basement where I do like more of the demoing of stuff, and this will be where all the building's done. Um, but I've got some good news on the SP 1200 side of things. Um, I spent a good portion of the week um, fiddling around with the time division multiplexing. And you'll be happy to know that it seems to be working for the most part. I need to play with some capacitor values, but I do have the time division multiplexing working. I am shocked as anybody that I got it to work. Um, and I'm going to try to figure out a way to kind of show you guys what I've done. Um, uh, I'm going to have to try to figure this out. I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm going to have to do some fiddling here on the fly, setting up cameras and stuff. Um, because I think I can use I'll have to like handheld my phone because like just take my phone in my hand and kind of show you the basic structure um, of what I've done. But yeah, we'll walk through that in a minute. But I do need to order some parts to tweak this TDM circuit. And I am using a power supply with plus or minus 12 volts to power the op amps. Um, and I am also using the 5-volt line to power the 5102. But I did want to mention to everyone that I did get this um, the ADC that Brian recommended. Got that guy right there. So that's our, at least the ADC that we're going to be playing with. Seems really good. It's a chunky little module. PCM 1808. So we'll mess around with this guy. This is, yep, totally valid question. The TDM circuit, all it's doing is basically using one DAC channel to get our 8 individual audio outputs, right? So what we want to do is we have, because um we don't want to be using 4 separate ADCs, right? We don't want to have a whole bunch of different ADCs. We want to have one ADC that does all our audio processing for us to cut down on the amount of parts that we're using, right? Because one of the things that Brian and I were talking about at one point was the idea of using multiple ESP32s with dedicated, with sort of like uh, being used as a dedicated voice module. So it would handle, um, each of the ESP32s would have a ADC, or would have a, sorry, not an ADC, would have a DAC hooked up to it to handle the two outputs, right? But what this setup is doing is I'm now using just one channel on the DAC and dividing it up amongst 8 outputs. So we're uh, yes, the multiplexing, yes, the time division multiplexing. So now I'm using just the left channel on a stereo DAC and dividing it up amongst 8 channels. So we're getting 8 individual outputs, um, uh, using just one channel, which is exactly how the SP1200 does it. It's exactly how they do it. So it's using a multiplexer, a demultiplexer, and basically a switch, and it's going, and it spits out on all 8 channels. And there's a capacitor that kind of like holds it for a second or whatever, whatever the time is. I don't know what the constant is. And then it spits it out in order, or whatever order it's being played in, using sample and hold. So I guess I could probably walk you guys through kind of what I have set up. Let me just give me a second here. Um, 1 second here. Just got to do a couple things here. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, so forgive the handheld look here. Let me just see that we have the handheld going here. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna try to set it up in the future so that I have like the camera right overhead, so it's, it'll be more traditional. Um, so as you can see, it's pretty wild. Um, so we've got our ESP32S3. We're actually not using that many I/O on this thing. Um, we're using uh, three GPIO for the 5102. Okay. And then we have 3 more selectors that are set up to the multiplexer, which I'll get to in a second. So what we're doing here is we got our left channel of the DAC going through a series resistor. It just cuts down on the current going to the multiplexer, and then we're shifting it we're shifting it to uh, we're centering the waveform coming out of here, which right now is just a 200 hertz sine wave. And what's happening is we're shifting it up to 2.5 volts, right? So that it can play nicely with our multiplexer. Now, the multiplexer right now is being powered with 5 volts. Uh, this shifting back here actually doesn't have to happen um, if you power the multiplexer with a dual supply. But the supply voltage on the CD 4051, I believe, is maximum plus or minus 10 volts, and I'm using a plus or minus 12 volt power supply. So anyways, so I'm using it in single supply mode, and what we're doing here is um, so what that means is that it only really like the input that the multiplexer likes is from 0 to 5 volts, right? So so that's why the waveform needs to be shifted um, from the 5102. And then from there, each of the channels go to a capacitor. These capacitors, right now I'm using zero point 0.1 microfarad capacitors, but they need to be lowered a bit because I'm losing a bit of waveform in each channel. And each of these capacitors are basically acting like a very, I guess, like short time piece of memory, right? So it's storing that voltage, that sound, the voltage of the sound for a fraction of a second before it spits it out to an op amp buffer. And these buffers are making sure that um, we don't get any degradation of signal, right, in the output. And then each of these outputs are outputting in the case right now, is a portion of the waveform that's remaining. So let me just show you an example here. So for example, right now on my scope, my little crappy scope, so let me just show you the output. So here's the output of the 5102. So the 5102, here's our output. Oh my God, this is really, sorry guys, this is really difficult to watch, I'm sure. It keeps flipping on me. Okay, so the 5102 right now is outputting the 200 hertz sine wave. It's super stepped right now, right? Because I'm really zoomed in, and it's also dividing it amongst 8 channels, right? So we're getting kind of like a stepped kind of output from it, right? And also the sample rate is 26 uh, kilohertz, 26.04 kilohertz. So that's our output, and we get that output on channel 8 as well of the TDM system that I have. So there's our waveform. It's a bit noisy. It's a little noisier on the noisier side due to the fact that I've got so many breadboard jumpers, right? So it's a little noisy. But that's our output on channel 8. And then you can see on channel 7, we only get a portion of the waveform. And that's due to the fact that the capacitor is actually holding the sound too long. And unfortunately, zero point 0.1 microfarad capacitors is the smallest that I have right on hand right now. So I'm going to order a whole bunch of different flavors that are lower in order to get our full waveform. It's just going to be tweaking the capacitor values to get that, to get a constant wave, to get each channel to spit out that 200 hertz sine wave. And then I'll show you I guess channel 5 is the same thing. You can see, jeez, this is brutal. So there's channel 5, channel 4, So it's good that we're getting a partial waveform at all. So that's great. Um, channel 3, 2, channel 1. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. And 0. So that's pretty much what I've got going. So the good news is that we're going to be able to we should be able to get those channels um, out of our single deck, which is awesome because that leaves us with plenty of IO left over to do stuff, to do other stuff, right? So the next step, um, that we have on the underside of the PCM, there's a couple sections with resistors. I've seen people solder these together sometimes. What's that do? I never got around to figure out the function of it that serves, right? Yeah, I think the jumpers, we can look that up actually. Let's look that up, Ed, while you're bringing that up. Um, let's just go to here. Let's see, PCM 5102. Um, PCM 5102 data sheet, maybe breakout board data sheet. Here we go. So this is basically what we're using here. Um, is there no data sheet? Technical details? Um, let's just take a look. Might say on the bottom. Yeah, some of these on mine are actually soldered. H H1L, H3L, H4L. It might have something to do with the filtering, possibly. I'm actually not sure. I wish I could find the data sheet. Uh, Brian says that sets up the configuration like most significant bit, least significant bit first for data and some other stuff. Okay. I don't know if it's 1 to 1, but the one I have is the purple one where the jack is 90 degrees, not parallel on the board, like the Adafruit one. That's the one I have the purple one as well, Ed. I have the purple one too. This guy. Just give me 1 sec. This is the one that I have. This guy here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll be getting into any of that kind of like stuff with those jumpers on the back. Mine are actually soldered. There are some that are soldered together, but yeah. So I guess like the next step that I need to take is get those capacitors so that I can just verify that the TDM is working, and then we can go from there. And I guess we need to start making a list, right? We wanted to make a list, start a parts list. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, yeah. We wanted to start a parts list, right? The PCM 1808 supports I squared S um, and left justified data formats. Configure the FMT format pin. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's probably the next another step in this, isn't it? We need to just verify this is gonna record how we want it to record, right? These pins are tiny, eh? Now the other thing is, um, let's go back. What do we? So, okay, all right. Um, okay, so we need to hook up. We need to hook up this guy too, right? All right. How are we gonna do this? Sorry, just give me 1 sec while I get this guy powered back up. Hooked back up. Brian says you can set the PCM 1808 to slave or master mode by configuring the MD0 and MD1 pins. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't got to the 1808 yet. I just got it the other day. And I was working on this TDM circuit that was a real pain getting it working. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess we need to, I guess uh the next step, I guess you're right. I should be hooking this guy up to make sure that it'll record what we want, and it'll come out the other end how it's supposed to, right? And I also need to order an SD card module. Oh man, I keep forgetting this stuff. Okay. Okay, let's shit. Okay. Let's start let's start a master list, and then I'll post it on Google Sheets or something. Let's just get me out of the way here. So we got our ESP32 S3. Shoot. S3. We've got our PCM 5102, right? We got our PCM 1808. So let's just do, um, we'll just call this main controller, or maybe let's call it just voice controller for now. We got our DAC, and we've got our ADC, right? And then we also need SD card module. Um, okay. And then I also need to order, oh, actually, that's to order. I'm gonna put that down at the bottom. So for the, um, let's think about this for a second. We got our CD 4051 BE, which is our uh, multiplex. Just do mux slash, yeah, we'll call it mux slash demux. And then we've got our capacitors, and we've got TL 074, and these are our buffers. This is, we'll call this quantity right now. 111, 1, 2. And then we have our 8 capacitors, which I'm gonna go to capacitors. Whoops, can I spell? Um, we'll call these TDM um, caps. We need 8 of those, and let's look up I think, uh, let's just see what the SP1200 actually uses. Um, Here we go. So the SP1200 uses 4700 picofarad. Okay. So we'll order some of those and see if that works. But I'll order some other sizes. And then we need, uh, okay, so that's good. But we do need an SD card module because we need to be able to record, we need to be able to store our audio data somewhere after we record it, right? Probably. I guess that's one thing that I'm not sure on. If we do we record the audio data to the SD card and then it we transfer it to the and then we transfer it to the RAM? Is that the best way to do it? Hey Brian, when you're loading your samples on your when you're loading samples onto your sample player, are you so you're loading them directly from the SD card into RAM? Is that how you're doing it? Yeah. Or are they just stored directly in RAM? Oh, we need an OLED screen too. Jeez, OLED screen. I'm just gonna jot down a couple other things while I'm thinking of it. Um, uh, I need like a switcher so I can get myself out of the way. Yeah. um, what do you call it? What's the other thing? Um, rotary encoder, right? Is that what we decided on? Right? Rotary encoder, OLED. Brian's saying, I'm using the internal flash on the ESP32 and loading through the Arduino IDE at the moment. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Good to know. Okay. I think what we're probably, that's the one part of the flow that I think we need to figure out, right? So that's something that we need. We need that SD card module so that we can start messing around with that. Um, okay. What's the does anybody know or Brian, do you happen to know offhand what's the gain on this little ADC? Like do you know anything about does it say anything about setting the gain on this thing? Excuse me. Actually, I could look it up myself, couldn't I? Why don't we look it up? Is a 128 by 32 OLED screen too small? I'll show you what I have. But I'd like to order another one. Just give me one sec. I'll show you what I have on hand here. Just give me one sec. I have 128 by 64. I've got this little guy that I'm looking at. I'm trying to think of a way to give you a scale of how big it is. This is 128 by 64, I think. I don't know what I can give you for scale. One second. There's also one that I've seen that comes with an encoder on board. Oh yeah? We'll take a look at that in a sec. One sec. That would be really handy. having an encoder on board. Mine is the 1.3 inch 128 by 64. Yeah, this one is the screen itself is like maybe, I don't know. I can't read a tape measure. I don't know. It's maybe half an inch big, the actual screen portion of it. The only thing I don't like about this one is that it has like a uh it's like colored, so it's got like there's like a top line um that yeah, that would be it's like anyways, the top line's yellow and the rest you can is like white, so it's not great. Um but I'm kind of wondering, let's take a look at some screens because we're getting there. So Ed, you're saying that there's a rotary encoder. Okay. Rotary. Yeah, thanks, Brian. You're right. I should have measured diagonally. Doy. Yeah, it's 1.3 inches. You're right. Yeah. Rotary encoder OLED combo. Oh, look at that. Look at that cute little module. AliExpress, $7. Um, I imagine your guys' display are the same length. Mine is but double the width. So taller, yeah. This looks pretty cool. I'm just looking at Amazon just because it's here. Is the 3.3 volt power, 1.3 inch OLED display screen with a EC11 rotary encoder module IIC, $10 USD. The button interface is also independent and can be selected for use according to to actual uses. I do like the combo board. That's really cool. I like the combo. Um, $1.93 US, $2.72. Okay. Well, let's grab some links here. I'll post this when we're done too. So we got OLED. There's AliExpress. Let's grab the Amazon link too. I like this little module though. It's pretty cool, eh? So the rotary encoder itself doesn't have the button on it though. That would be nice to have it all in one board. That's great. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay. Let's look up a um, micro SD card. 3.3 volts. Um, Arduino. You can get three of them. Three of them for $11. Add a micro SD card to your Arduino SMT STM32 or ESP8266 module. It's SPI. Something like that could work, right? But these AliExpress ones, look at this, 30 cents for this little guy. View details. Not much in terms of details, eh? Let me blow this guy up for y'all. Maybe we'll say, why don't we say Arduino? There's some DigiKey links. I mean, the Canaduino stuff is pretty good. There's like a Adafruit one. Let's see what this one is. Look at this. You can get 5 of them. Oh, currently unavailable. Well, here's Adafruit. I mean, it's $5. But again, like you can get all different flavors. But I mean, it's all the same stuff, right? It's just what you want to buy. As long as it's an SPI based module, it should be exactly the same. What's $7.80 divided by 3? I don't even know offhand. I have to get my calculator. I don't know what I do with my calculator. Whatever. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Um, I guess we could also get the larger size SD card. Um, because the micro can be a little bit finicky sometimes, right? But um, let's just we'll just grab some links, right? Let's just grab some links, chuck it into the. We're going to call this OLED and rotary encoder. You can take that off. So there's the Adafruit. This is the Adafruit module. Then let's do, whoops. Then we want, where's this one? The Adafruit is 3.3 volts, right? Pretty sure. Let's just double check. Should all be the same, but yeah, it's SPI. Yep, 3.3. 3.3 volts is the power pin. MicroSD cards must use 3.3 volts, so take care only to hook up the 3.3 volts to this pin. Hooking 5 or VBAT to this pin will damage your SD card. Okay. Whereas this one, it looks like you can do 3.3 to 5 volts. Um, so we should probably make a note of that somewhere. How am I going to do this? Whoops. Um, whoops. Let's see. How are we going to do this? Maybe I'll just put it at the end. Whoops. We'll say 3.3 volts only. And then I'll bold it. Which is, good to know. What do we do? Bold. There we go. Okay. So 3.3 volts only. And then we've got these ones, which are um, these guys, which are both, which is nice. So it's got an onboard regulator, I guess, which is handy. Okay. And then we've got, let's find an AliExpress one too. Um, like that is 30 cents. That's crazy. Well, let's add this one. So we've got an AliExpress one that we can mess with. Okay. Oh, let's do that too. Let's do uh what did I say? I said okay, so we got so then the stuff that we need next, right? We need SD card module, we need our rotary encoder, um and then because our rotary encoder is going to take care of all of our navigation, right? We're going to eliminate all that extra navigation. Um, all that extra IO for navigation, right? We're going to get rid of all that. Um, okay, and then so we don't need that anymore. Okay, we got those links. Um, let's do that real quick. Let's just grab the links for the 5102. Here's AliExpress. Looks exactly like the one that I have. Man, it's so cheap. God. And we'll just throw in some links here. So there's the 5102. And we need, we'll do a DigiKey one. DigiKey and Amazon, I guess. And Amazon. Um, no, that's not right. Um, 5102 Amazon. There it is right there. This is the guy that I bought, I think, or similar anyway. Similar to the one that I bought. Could have been that one. I can't remember. I don't think it was $18 though. It's not that one. Let me 1 second. Let's go to Amazon. Whoops. Maybe it'll log. Yeah, there we go. Now you guys can see all the stuff that I've ordered. Here we go. This is the guy. $10 I paid. Man, AliExpress is so cheap, eh? It's crazy. And then we need the 1808, PCM 1808. Need to throw that on there. Oh, excuse me. Okay. 1808 breakout board. AliExpress. Excuse me. My caramba. Here's another Adafruit one. Oh, that's the 5102. Two pieces for $12.53. Oh, nope. Well, I can get a welcome deal for $1.62. All right. There's AliExpress. And let's do, I guess, some other option for people. Here's eBay. That'll work. Okay. Oh, and the SP32S3. Let's go back. Um, it's telling me to buy shampoo, so that's neat. You guys want to know what shampoo I use? Okay, this is the ones that I bought. How much was it? 29. Well, I paid 25. It was on sale when I bought it. Okay. There's the 3-pack. And we want, this is what we want. Let's do a search there. Here's a DigiKey. That's not the one that I have though. This is the one that I have. Or no. uh, here we go. What's this one? This is the one. This is the one. So we'll put this guy in there. And let's do one other option for people. Here's a DigiKey link. It's not the whole board though, it's just the module. Here's Mouser. This is just the module as well, right? This isn't the actual full board. It's the same thing. Um, Let's see here. There's another AliExpress link. Oh, Walmart. There you go. Walmart Canada is in the ESP32 business, apparently. Here's one. Here's eBay. This is good. It's good enough for me. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So we got some links for that. We got some links for our microcontrollers. We got links for our DAC. We have links for our ADC. We have links for, oh, we need these links here, these components here, I'll probably do just Mouser and DigiKey. Um, just my, um, I haven't had any experience buying those kind of components. Good thing is if you can find some of these on AliExpress with the choice feature, you get stuff in a week approximately, which isn't bad. Amazon is a bit faster shipping, of course. The trade-offs, yeah, exactly. Um, let's see. Maybe AliExpress does have. Does anybody have any experience buying these kinds of components off of AliExpress? Like, are they decent? Because like I've heard horror stories of like people buying this stuff and they end up with like a different component completely and they just like take off the label and they put on a new label. That's what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true or not. But I'll put the links in there anyway. And then TL074. Here we go. So we're going to be for our TDM circuit. And so that's good. Let's see, TL074. There we go. Okay. And I guess I should have probably done a price on all these. I'll clean this up before I post it. And oh, here's Amazon too. Hmm. There you go. You learn something new every day. So we'll do Amazon and then the capacitors. We want 4700 picofarad film capacitors. Okay. Lots to choose from. Oh, these ones look nice, eh? 400 volts. What are the one? I think they said they were poly, right? On the yeah, let's look at that. I do modules and certain components, but for ICs, I'm trying my luck with op amps for now to see how it is. Otherwise, I do DigiKey or similar. Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. Oh, these ones I've used before in the past. These are nice. These ones, they work well on the breadboard. So let's do, what is 4,700 picofarads in microfarads? One sec. Got my calculator. Okay. 4.7 nanofarads, 0.0047 microfarads. Okay. So let's do that. And we'll do in stock. And let's do quantity available. We want lots, right? Oops. All these little surface mount ones. Oh yeah, we probably want through hole, right? For now, so we can breadboard with it. So we'll do that. Dollar each. Here we go. 12 cents. Oh, we don't want marketplace though. Exclude marketplace products. That's what we want. Uh, Here we go. 8 cents. I mean, our operating voltage doesn't need to be that high, right? Like, it doesn't need to be 400. I guess it doesn't matter. How accurate do we want it? I don't know. What if we go to 1%? Oh, there's only 4. Let's see. Let's just see if we do 1%, what these are worth. $2.20. Yeah, they're a bit. Seems kind of silly. Um, I think 5% should be fine. Right? These look fine. 8 cents. I did fine with a shift register for my sampler project, but I've heard some horror stories like that, what you described. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't want to have to put people through that kind of stuff. So, um, yeah, I think we'll definitely like make a suggestion to people to order those kind of components. I think um, from what do you call it? Like a reputable um, electronics supply place. So this one looks good. This one looks nice. 8 cents. So we'll do those, and then let's go to Mouser, and we'll do. Oh wait, you know what I should do? I should go back to here, grab the part number. I'm gonna order a bunch of these today, so I can hammer down this TDM circuit. Oh, these are 40 cents at Mouser, so they're a little bit more expensive, but Ed, they might be even cheaper for you. Um, if you're in the States. Okay, so that'll work for that. And then I need to figure out what we're doing for the power supply. Um, I was debating I think we mentioned I mentioned last week I was debating about the need for a beefy power supply. Um, I'm lucky for logic and op amp type thing. I have a place about 20 minutes from me called CPC. That's part of Pharrell. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a place actually by me that is pretty good too. It's like a local place. Though I have to say their selection isn't the greatest. Um, but one thing I want to mention is the power supply before we go forward. Just give me one sec, guys. I just want to grab something. So a couple years ago, I built a bunch of um, these power supplies um, from Frequency Central. And I think we could recreate kind of something like this. And you're probably wondering why we want such like a beefy, oh, for now. Yeah, yeah. Um, why we would want such a beefy supply, but I think it would be probably a good idea to have a super clean or as clean as we possibly can make it power supply for the entire sampler, right? Um, it's really gonna just cut down on the noise and all that, glitchy stuff that can happen when you're powering all these kinds of devices. And also the great thing is that we get in this thing, we get plus 5 volts, we get and we get our plus or minus 12 for powering our op amps, which is really handy. Um, so I'm going to look into building something similar to this, and I think it would be a really cool idea to make it a separate module like this so that if you down the road you did want to use it for say a Euro rack project or whatever, you could always take it out of the sampler um, and use it for those kinds of projects. Um, like just reuse it, right? So I think we're gonna try to. I'm gonna take a look at the schematic on this, or if there isn't a schematic, I might kind of like reverse engineer this power supply, and yeah, we'll end up like with a nice little power supply at the end of this, and I think it maxes out at about an amp. Um, for current, and I can't, we're using all these low powered kind of devices. I really, even if we use two ESP32s, we're not even going to be close to using an amp of power. But yeah, it's just going to make everything a lot easier on the output side of things, right? And and just make the build a lot easier. But I was thinking we could do. It has like I soldered in like these like the male headers kind of thing. So we could make it in the enclosure. We'll make it smaller than this, but we could make it so that it's just like, like a jumper, like a jumper connector sort of thing going to like our main board. So we can always isolate these issues as we kind of go along. And that's the benefit of using all these like little modules and stuff, right? So yeah. So I'm thinking I'll reverse engineer this and kind of price it out and and figure out um it actually doesn't need a transformer, Brian. The cool thing about this little power supply is that it just uses a AC adapter. It just uses a straight up AC adapter. If you give me one sec, I can show you what I'm using. I'm just using one of these guys. 12 volts AC, 1 amp. So I mean, that's the other nice thing about it too is that as long as you have an AC adapter, you know, it should it'll be perfect. And we can price these out, get different prices on these, but I think having like a clean power, some clean power for this whole thing is going to be worth the time, I think. Um, any thoughts on that? I can put a link in the description of our. I can leave a comment or something, or even put it on the spreadsheet that I'll post. Um, I can put a link to this if anybody wants to read up on this. If they have any, maybe if give you some time to kind of think it over, and you know, we'll give her. Maybe well, that's what we'll do is I'll post all this stuff. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll get the spreadsheet and everything cleaned up. Um, and I'll post a link to this board that I've used, just to kind of let everybody give everybody time to like let it simmer a bit. I think, um, you know, yeah, I know that some people like to take their time and think about things, so let's do that. Let's do that instead. But that's just sort of something that I'm proposing so that it makes all this other stuff that we want to do um, a little easier, I think. So, anyways, yeah, made some progress this week, which I'm happy about. So I'm going to get those capacitors ordered right away, and I will test them out in the TDM circuit. Let you guys know how it goes. Um, Also, get the I'm gonna this week I'm gonna get the ADC hooked up. Do a quick test of that. Get our SD card module. Do a quick test of that. Try to figure that stuff out. That workflow out. Um, yeah, making some progress, guys. Very pleased. Very pleased. I think we're. It might not. I'm thinking that you know, it might not be the very first week of September we'll get going, but at some point in September, um, we'll get going on this thing. But I think we're in a pretty good place right now. I just don't want to say that it's going to be the first week of September because I want to give everybody a chance to kind of like, get all the components and stuff and what have you, right? So, um, anyway, yeah. Yes, definitely. It looks very similar to the PSU I built for my semi. Oh, nice. Cool. Nice, man. Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be worth our time and our effort to build a supply like that I think it's just going to make our lives way easier. So, but yeah, I'll post links to all that kind of stuff and get this spreadsheet cleaned up. Hopefully, get it to you guys to like early tomorrow, so you guys can take a look at stuff. And if you want to start ordering stuff, I can't imagine it being that much different, you know, than what we're working with right now. But yeah, I think we're in a good place. Okay. So, anyways, thanks for everybody for coming out. Ed, Brian, Abnorm, thanks as always for coming out and hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be out early in the series since I'll be heading to England for vacation. Wow. Wow. World traveler. That's great. That's awesome. That's great, man. Happy to hear. Happy to hear you got some vacation coming up. That's great. I don't really have much. Okay, great. Great. That's awesome, Brian. I'm happy to hear that. But I'll yeah, yeah. We'll still get, still get the part list up so everybody can take a good look at it, and you know, not using any crazy stuff, so it's all pretty standard stuff, but it's, I know Abnorm was asking about, being able to buy all the components and stuff, so I think it'll be awesome. Ed, when do you leave? If you don't mind me asking, when do you take off? Just first couple weeks of September kind of thing? I went to the UK way back, way back, way back in the day. I had a lovely time with it was a family vacation. It was very enjoyable. Nice. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, so yeah, I'll try and get you guys that part list ASAP so everybody can take a look at it. I'll try to update like the prices and stuff like that too, and put, a little couple more details, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely let me know if you guys have any issues, problems, that kind of thing. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, anyways, as I said before, no beat making live stream this week, due to the fact that I need to get my life in order on the studio side. So, and I'm gonna be focusing all my time to getting this SP 1200 stuff sorted out so that we can get going in September. And so I don't know if I'm going to get to other builds this summer, to be honest with you. Like, I really wanted to make some amps and pedals and stuff, but yeah, I just, yeah, I just really want to get this thing sorted out. It's all good. I would be out around the 19th, first couple days in October. Nice. That's great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I hope. Obviously, we'll probably see it before then. But if we don't, definitely enjoy the R&R. That's great. Fantastic. It'll be a trip to remember. Definitely. It's great. Anyway, guys. So yeah, I'll see you next week. I'll post something on you. I'll post in the post section with all the documentation that we worked on today. Uh, Probably, like I said, maybe tomorrow morning, hopefully. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks again for coming out, and I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. Take it easy, guys.